Good afternoon. Today is Sunday, August the 4th. My name is Donna Smirniotopoulos. Welcome to my channel. The name of the channel is Angry Taxpayer, and I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking that I'm not getting enough value for the taxes I pay, especially property taxes. So my first two episodes were about low-income housing tax credits, also known as LIHTCs. Those are federal government instruments, and they get funneled through the states, and the states process the applications. And it's a rather complicated issue, but just to recap, the federal government has spent about $60 billion in low-income housing subsidies since the inception of LIHTCs in the late 80s. So this is for you to decide whether or not that $60 billion investment has been worth it. Today I want to talk about tax abatements. So sometimes a tax abatement will be tied to the land, and this is what we call as of right. The best example of as of right tax abatements in the city of Norwalk are in what is known as the enterprise zone. Some of you may know of it as Reed Putnam. This is a parcel of land that stretches from the 95-7 connector all the way to North Water Street, the intersection of North Water and Washington Street. And I'm going to talk to you today about the kind of tax abatement they're getting, and I'm going to use my own tax bill and the tax bill for Ironworks to illustrate the kinds of discounts that people are getting for developing in the enterprise zone. So the Soto collection, which is supposed to open this October, November, will also be capturing these tax abatements. And I have not had much success finding their upcoming tax bill, but I will show you my tax bill. And here is, so hopefully you can see it there. It shows my assessed value of about $660,000. So that would represent 70% of the appraised value. And then the second highlighted number is a zero. That's the amount of discount I'm getting. So I'm not eligible for any sort of a senior discount, even though you may think I look old enough to do that or anything like that. No tax abatements for me. I'm paying taxes on the full assessed value. And then flip over to this side. Here is the bill, this half the bill. So that's what's due in January. So my total bill for the year is close to $16,000. When I bought the house, the taxes were about $9,000. I did make improvements, but I got a big hit in 2016, 2017 after I obtained my certificate of occupancy, and they went up to $13,000. And then after the reval, another close to $3,000. So it was about a 40% jump in assessed value, and here I am. And so, I have to figure out for myself, am I getting value? Am I paying my fair share, which is what they tell you when they send you your assessment? Am I paying too much? So now I'm going to show you the tax bill for One North Water, and that is Ironworks property. And here's the bill right here. So you can see in the first line is the total assessed value. So again, that would be 70% of the appraised value. The total assessed value is pretty close to $30 million. And then there's a big number below that, and that is the amount of discount they're receiving. So they're not paying taxes on that second number. They're only paying taxes on the third number. So right now, they're paying about half the taxes owed, and this should show you, unless I have it upside down, which I probably do. Nope, this is good. So they're paying about $200,000, which means that there's another $200,000 that they're not paying this year. And to make it really sweet, and to put it in perspective, in year zero, so this is probably year 7 now, in year 1, they paid zero, okay? So they paid no taxes. That's part of the schedule, the abatement schedule for the enterprise zone, which means the mall, for all the talk about how much stimulus the mall was going to bring here, they're going to bring in zero in property tax revenue in year 1. They're going to bring in 10% of their assessed value in year 2 and so on through year 7. So I don't know anybody who gets that kind of tax discount. And the reason that you might offer abatements is to stimulate the economy. You want to stimulate development, bring people in, those people spend money. The problem is when people come into Norwalk and spend money, yes, so they're supporting local businesses, yes. They're also supporting the state because their sales taxes are going to Hartford. So we don't really have good information on economic stimulus from these developments receiving tax abatements. The Maritime Center claims that they are bringing us $25 million a year in stimulus, but I would like to see the proof of that. The other thing we need to consider when we're offering tax abatements is, are the developers absorbing 100% of the infrastructure costs associated with their development, or are they passing those costs on to residential homeowners? So from what I can see, residential homeowners are absorbing a lot of those costs. That would be costs for infrastructure, costs for services, and especially the cost to educate children. So please ask your candidates where they stand on tax abatements. And hopefully, however you feel about tax abatements will help inform your decision this November about who you plan to support in this upcoming election, and ask the mayoral candidates also, Lisa Brinton, the Republican-endorsed independent candidate, and Harry Rilling, the Democratic incumbent. And I hope you found this informative. And please, look up your own tax bill and look at some of these other areas where you think maybe they're not paying enough, and teach yourself about what's going on with tax abatements in the city of Norwalk. And I thank you for your time. Have a pleasant Sunday. Bye-bye.